Hello again, Dave Kites from the OTOW Woodshop in Ocala. Tonight I'm going to make a very short video about a new addition to the shop. We're going to convert our drill presses to keyless chucks and try them out, see how we like it. Our old chucks are getting worn, the keys are getting worn, and the chucks are getting worn, and they're hard to tighten. It's easy to put the bit in wrong because they're hard to tighten, and they also get stuck after they've run a while, or if you finally get it tight, you get it too tight and then have trouble undoing it, all due to wear. So instead of just replacing those Jacobs chucks, I bought a keyless chuck, and I think it works pretty well, but we'll see how it stands up to the members. That's what we got to find out. But we're going to try it out. So how the keyless chuck works is inside, well, there's two knurled parts. This is top part here that's knurled, and you hold that still, and then you turn the bottom part. Okay, and that opens and closes it. Very simple. No tools required. So you don't want to use any pliers or pipe wrenches or anything on here, just your hands, believe it or not. I'll tell you more about why that works in a minute. But anyway, there's these two parts. And inside, between the two stationary part and the movable part, there's some gears and threads, and they're not normal gears and threads. They're very fine and they're angled, so that when they go together, they don't really mesh exactly right. They kind of bind on each other, and that's the key to this. And the chuck actually gets tighter when it runs. So all we have to do to get started is get our bit in there and get it tight, and then set our things up, and when we run it, it will get even tighter. So it won't loosen anymore when you start to run it. It'll only get tighter. So that's basically how it works. Now we're going to put a bit in here. Before I do that, this is what we call the upper part, this is the lower part. This part you just hold still. If this is connected directly to the taper, which is stuck in the quill, the spindle of the drill press, and so when you turn this, you turn the whole drill press, okay? I'm turning the whole drill press shaft when I turn this one. So he's just there to hold on to, because when I turn this, when it gets tight, I'm going to turn it this way to tighten the jaws, to the right. They call it clockwise. So when I look at it, I'd have to be underneath there looking up for that to be, is that clockwise? No, that isn't. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. Anyway, it's easier for me to the right, to the left. Okay. So tighten to the right. It's the same old righty-tighty. You put your bit in, and it hits something solid up in there, and then just back it down, but not more than, just a little bit, not more than 1/4 of an inch. And I can turn this, and now it hit. And it's got a grip on it already, okay? And the quill didn't turn, so I didn't need to hold this to get that far. But now I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to tighten it like that. That's enough. I could make it, I can force this, it's pretty hard, but I can do it, and I can make these two go past each other. But we don't want to do that. We're overstressing the threads in there. And remember, I said they were fine and they're delicate. We don't want to overstress them too much. Now, the load on here will hold the jaws tight on the outer shell, and the inner part is what's being driven. So there's relative friction between the inner part that's being driven and the outer part that's being held back by whatever tool you got on here, and that tightens it more. So that's the way it's designed to work. So it'll hold a 32nd to 5/8 of an inch diameter shaft, and it of course has 3 jaws in here, so it'll hold hex shaft tools also. Okay. So that was pretty easy. Now, if I had run this thing and I was all done, to get it out, you probably won't be able to just turn this. See, it turns the whole drill press thing. So you have to hold the upper shaft and then turn this to the left. Just that easy, and out it comes. Okay, so very simple, quick and easy. A hex shaft, a little more difficult. Okay, now this is a hex shaft, and it has this quick disconnect, which is a really nice feature for these new hole saws by Freud. Just put it on there and you push it down. It's good. So put that up in there, and I'll hold both the collar and the hole saw. I'll hold this steady and turn these till I feel just a little slipping here, and then I think it's in. Now remember, this gets tighter when it runs. That's enough to hold it to get started. So I'm going to get a piece of wood and we're going to put some torque on this and see how it goes. I forgot to tell you, remind you that after you put a bit in there, now this one you can tell it's in right, it's not crooked. But if you're just putting a little bit in there and you get it and you think it's in there good, clear the stuff out of the way, stand back and turn the drill press on and see that it's running true. And then you'll know it's in there straight, okay? Oh, I picked a piece of wood. Well, maybe a little more education here. Say I wanted to put a big hole in the middle of this board. Well, I don't really want to hold that with my hands. But if I put this over here, now I can clamp this. And of course I have to lock the table again. But I can put it over there. There's enough clear space under here, different places, that you can get a clamp on there. One clamp's usually sufficient. If it's a bigger board, you put two on, because if you just put one on, like this, and tighten it, and you tighten it good, nice and tight, really tight, right? See that? It's easy to move. It will swing underneath there. If you take the time, put a second one on, well, I'm not going to hurt my hands, but I'll tell you, it'll be very hard to move this. You'd have to get a hammer and beat on it to make it go now, because it's got the two on there, okay? I want to make sure my saw is not going to hit that clamp, and it's not. So there you go. So now I'm ready. Not a bad speed. Could be just a little faster. It's pulling pretty hard. See, I can stall a machine. The belt is slipping. When that happens and the motor's still running, the belt is slipping. So if that happens too much, this is turning into a drill press class, but if that happens too much, you go up the top side and there's an idler in here on the belt, on one of the two belts, and you tighten that idler up. You push it harder into the belts and then lock it back down like that. And now hole saws put a lot of torque on the piece, but we cut the hole. It didn't slip. Notice it stalled and still didn't any slipping. Of course, it's a hex shaft, so it'd be very hard for it to slip. Okay. So anyway, we can push this out of here, but that's not part of what we're talking about tonight. So that did work. It didn't come loose, and that's fine. And to get this out, hold the top, go to the left. That easy. Okay, now you have to futz with these. That's why I don't like holes. So I wonder if this new one, if I just release this, oh no, it wasn't that easy. Well, it was. It come apart, but that's okay. Yeah, that is easier. So that's another nice thing about this. Yeah, there's a set screw there. And I don't think he put a flat on the drill though for the set screw. That would have been a good thing. What he did. Anyway, sorry, got distracted. I don't know if there's anything else. So I'm going to put one drill, one chuck in place 2 days after you see this video. Okay, you're going to see it because we're going to email it to you. And after I've given a couple days for folks to look at the video, I'll put one in one drill press, and I'll put a set of instructions here, and I'll put a clipboard here for your feedback if you are so inclined to comment about what you think about it. Okay. Is there anything else, Ben, you think I should do?
If without any negatives, maybe in a week or 2 weeks, probably within a week, with no negatives, we'll put it in the other press.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. The other one would follow if we don't get too many complaints. Okay. Okay. Very good. Thanks for watching.